Business entrepreneurs have faith. They have faith that their service, their product, their business is needed in the world, and they will do anything it takes to make it happen. Through the highs, through the lows, they'll have grit and determination. Why? Because they have faith. They have faith that their product, their service, their business is needed in the world right here, right now, today. When it comes to our relationship with God, when it comes to spirituality, faith really isn't that much different. It's just the object of our faith is different. The object of our faith is God. The object of our faith is Jesus. Faith is seeing things the way God sees them and then acting on it. When we see Hebrews 11 in the Hall of Faith, the list of the Old Testament heroes of faith, we see Hebrews 11:1, and we see a definition of faith in Hebrews 11:1. While my definition isn't word for word, I think my definition is a contextual construct of Hebrews 11:1. Faith is seeing things the way God sees them and then acting on it. Hebrews 11:1 talks about hope. Hope is the certainty that our future can be better than our past and our present. When we have faith in God, we have hope. We have hope that by having faith in God, that our future will certainly be better. But now it comes to Rahab. Rahab was the last story mentioned before the writer just kind of goes into a shotgun approach to the rest of the Old Testament. And Rahab saw her life, saw her city, saw her religion, saw everything the way God sees it. And she saw her future the way God sees it. That her future would be better with God's people and with God than with her own people. And she was saved because of it. And her life was completely transformed because of it. And so we see in her life and we see in our life, when we have faith, God sees our life in three different categories as completely different than what we see ourselves. We see it morally, positionally, and missionally different. Morally, how God sees us: holy, blameless, above reproach. He declares us righteous, so we have the righteousness of Jesus. That is how he sees our life morally. Positionally, he sees us as his adopted children. We are adopted children of the King. And missionally, he sees us as ambassadors of Christ, that we are building his kingdom here on this earth, not as a final destination. There are people trying to build God's kingdom on this earth as a final because they act like it is a final destination. It is not a final destination. We are building God's kingdom on this earth as an outpost to show other people. This is where what the ambassador, comes in, that shows other people what God is like, who God is, what it's like to live in his kingdom, so that they can have a glimpse, so that they can in turn have faith, meaning they end up seeing things the way God sees them, and they end up acting on it. God sees our life completely different. He sees our life morally completely different, positionally completely different, and missionally completely different than how we would see it on our own. So the question that I want to ring through your mind and through your heart today is this: How do we act now that God sees us completely different in these three areas?